Hey there, what makes a normal type Pokemon normal? Anything can be a normal type these days. Up to Gen 9, you could always just say, it's a regular animal. That's why it's a normal type. But then why the Distortion world is small of a normal type? The type doesn't fit its evolutions any better either. So what's the real reason? No, not just because they benefit from normal stab, that's boring. No, there's more to it. But let's start with the first group of Pokemon we can go ahead and explain away. I'd call this category unspecialized. All of these Pokemon have the normal type because they either have no relation to any other type, like type Null, or, like its evolution, fit all of the types, or at least multiple. For example, Arceus' base form, Terrapagos, Regigigas, Ditto, and Eevee. Again, these aren't specialized on any particular type, more than any of the others at least. After those guys, we can transition pretty smoothly into the next category, unrefined. Again, we're starting with the basics. You probably already noticed this about normal types. This is the just a regular animal category, but instead of calling them that, because there's a lot of Pokemon that just pull from regular animals, let's call them wild animals. These aren't just regular. No, they actually aren't. They're reckless, clumsy, and wild. Unrefined to say the least. The opposite of this is refined, and would fit the fighting type. Refined is super effective against unrefined. But I'll go into that type another day. To summarize, what sets these normal types apart from non-normals is the fact that they are typical wild animals. A lion that rules over the ruthless savannah, a big buff buffalo, and a giant gutsy bear. When they attack, they show no regard for safety or technique. Some of them can't even hold onto an item. They rely on sheer force. That's it. Okay, great, now we've got the basics down. But there's a few Pokemon that still don't feel right as normal types. It's the ones that made the least sense from the beginning, the ones that you clicked on the video for, and the one I mentioned in the intro. Both of Doliv's dex entries talk about how they've coexisted with humans for ages, and how it lives with humans up until its fruits fully ripen. It even looks like a human girl. Both of Cyclozar's dex entries talk about how it enjoys when people ride on its back, and again, how this has been the case for ages. Indeedee take care of people and never leave their trainer's side. Yes, the third category is human. These Pokemon have a really strong relationship with humans, and they have history with them. That history might not always be too positive though. Some of them even have human hobbies. If Unrefined didn't already cover Obstagoon, Grafaiai, and Squawkabilly, this certainly does. Same with Porygon, which was even created by humans, and Type Null too. These Pokemon have evolved with humans. Literally, with humans by their side. This is a fact they all share. So I guess there's just something very normal about humans. But lastly, there still is a fourth normal characteristic a Pokemon can have. And I basically just thought of this one because of one single Pokemon line. But it is very much worth mentioning. Remember how the unrefined normal type is weak to fighting because they are opposites? Well, there's one more defensive type matchup the normal types have, and that is the immunity to Ghost, and also Ghost's immunity to normal. These are truly meant to be polar opposites. They cannot interact with each other. And what is the Ghost type if not dead? What is the normal type if not alive? I'm of course talking about Hisuian Zoroark. Sure, it could fit the unrefined group, but I don't think that's enough of an explanation for such a paradoxical typing. In Hisui, Zoroark were hunted to death, but their pure spite and grudge against the humans who killed their species rebirthed them into the adapted Hisuian form. Zoroark refused to die. They were reborn from their grudge. Those two words are the key. Reborn. I believe Hisuian Zoroark is alive. Not just undead, no, it's fully alive. just like regular Zorag always was. And then Grudge. That's where the ghost type comes from. Similar to Bayonet or Cerulege, those aren't actually dead people's ghosts either. Bayonet is a doll filled with ghost type Grudge. It is normal type though, because the doll wasn't very alive to begin with. The Grudge didn't give new life to the doll. I wouldn't really call Bayonet alive. But anyways, let's dive into the ghost type another time. There's just as much to make sense of there. And frankly, every type. Like the fighting type I mentioned before. Subscribe to see the next episodes. I do plan on making quite a few of these. But that's it for today. Normal type Pokemon are either unspecialized, unrefined, strongly linked to humans, or exceptionally alive. My guide the Dunsparce really fits all of them. Well, not so much the human one, but it does have the eternal life Ouroboros thing going for it in the alive category. What can the Dunsparce do? Anyways, bye!